Hi everybody, this is Joanna. Thank you so much for tuning in. I've got a huge clearing going on in my throat chakra and my heart chakra. So my voice is gonna probably be clicking in and out, but that won't stop my eggnog latte. I'm just tasting so yummy. Today we are gonna do the honoring and the valuing of 2020. And we're gonna do a 2020 life reflection. So that will give you an example. Thank you, Spirit, for being with us, and all the fairies and the angels and all the archangels for being with us. To do a life reflection, we've got a couple of days left in the year, and we're entering into some really powerful portals so that you can choose your vibrational timeline and what that feels like and what that resonates like, because remember, it's all about vibration. And just doing a reflection on what has been. I tend to do a reflection when I'm looking back and I'm reflecting. I do a life reflection in this kind of concurrent moment and then to my life as when I was born, because there's always the now moment lessons and blessings that are absolutely reflected to the childhood experiences that we've all had, and the Akash that we're carrying with us in the lineage energies. And I'll just give you, some beautiful experiences that I've been moving through as opposed to what my life reflection has looked like. And I'm going to show you an illustration that you can perhaps try on your own if you're really excited to. There's oftentimes in this time of year where doesn't matter what your celebratory traditions are, this time of year often brings up many energies of nostalgia and missing someone and missing those that you're normally around, especially with our global experience right now, that many things are, and travel experiences are being held off, and we're doing things in a different way. So have that be okay. It's a part of change. But traditionally, this time of year has caused a lot of the nostalgia, sadness, because of, I was having this conversation with my teams last night, and we had touched on it a bit yesterday in our video when Gaia and the mother were showing us that excitement that the parents have when the children open their presents, and how beautiful and glorious that feels as parents and adults and mothers. And Gaia, she's excited for us about what's going to come in 2021 for her offering as a planet with us, because we're going to be opening many gifts about our oneness and our entanglement with her, the gifts that she creates with us with herbs and flowers and all the beautiful essences that she offers us through life itself, and that entanglement and that richness of that relationship. But what I was connecting with in my communion with Spirit last night was the reason why we feel, this is just my interpretation, again, these are only, and the beautiful sacred offerings that I do offer, I'm not belittling my experience at all. Sometimes when I say those things, it makes me sound as if I'm not giving importance to how I feel in my interpretations and musings as a collective seer and a visionary. I'm giving importance to my intuitions and my feelings and my visions. So I'm learning to respect and honor myself as a gracious co-creator with the Christ consciousness. Thank you, Holy Spirit. And standing strong within what I feel and what I know, and I'm owning it. And so these are, you're experiencing me transition and transmute and transform right before you. Thank you for those of us that have always been with us in our stories and in our Christed sharings. And so they were showing me that oftentimes we feel these experiences because this time of year, regardless of how we celebrate it, it's about our connection at that heart level that we always seek. And in our separation and in our duality and polarity experiences and healing the various psyche wounds and the various Akash and lineage and everything that we've come for, the opening and the awakening as spirit in matter form is surrendering the ego in every moment so that it becomes more and more spirit, and you become a soul-infused, heart-centered being. And why many of us go through those emotional experiences this time of year is because these times of traditional cycles allow us to truly feel into and experience that connection that we have at that spirit level. From our earliest of ages, we've all had the most wonderful and loving experiences of our connectedness. And that's what they were showing me yesterday in that vision, is that the adults were just so excited to see the children in joy and in love and in happiness, to be in excitement of what one has gifted from their hearts to others that they love from their hearts. but that we take the symbology away of the actual gift and the physical, tangible experience of the gift, if you will, and connect it back to that is of spirit, giving of spirit, the graciousness of spirit, the compassion of spirit, the oneness of spirit, the unconditional and eternal gift that is spirit, you know, the deep gratitude and abundance that is spirit. And that's where we tend to have those emotional refluxes, because we've lost that connection at our heart level with those that we've loved, you know, and that's what love, and that's what the human collective, and that's what our collective story is remembering now in awakening. It's remembering our connection with all that is life. It's remembering that we have this great connection with spirit, with Gaia, that we have forgotten about, that we've distanced ourselves from, and how many gifts are within that, tangible and not tangible, if you will, as far as physical matter, but in that essence of love and connection from one essence to another. That is the essence and the omnipresence that is all consciousness creation. And so I'm clearing just talking about that. That's so wonderful. And thank you, Spirit. And so Spirit was showing me today is that in a continuation of that story, is that how can we look back in the reflection of 2020 and see and reflect upon where we have felt, ourselves change as spirit. How are we changing our physical matter as spirit? Because the more that we awaken, the more that we honor and accept ourselves as a soul-infused being, living as this soul-infused being and continually renewing yourself through love and honor and compassion and forgiveness, creating your sense of self and your sense of essence of who you are as this epicenter of light, creating in matter. In this, how has it changed your perspective on what has occurred in your life over the past year? And how can you look at it in a way that can allow you to thread back a connection from you as spirit to whatever those experiences were? Because in any way, as they're showing me, as they show me, and I bring it in all of my teachings and all the global webinars and all the classes and all the private sessions, divine relationship is within it all. It just is. You can thread it back to that divine relationship, that crucible of the divine mother and the divine father being healed, the divine male and female energies and attributes. Our bodies, our chakras, all that we are as divine matter beings are being soothed and healed and brought back into alignment through our self-acceptance, through our self-awareness, through our soul self-awareness, through our spirit self-awareness. And we are then therefore clarifying and cleansing and bathing and bringing to life the epicenter of light that we are as source, as oneness, as the Christ consciousness. And it is in that divine relationship. What did I believe to be true about this relationship I had with this person that I was in lack and in neglect from? And to find the relationship within it. And you'll find a belief within there that said, well, from childhood, and this is why my reflections always go back to the beginning of my timeline here, but also connect with other timelines that I can feel. Because it'll go back to an earlier childhood where you remember opening those gifts, but what you would rather have had is just beautiful connection time with your parents. But that time was so stifled and it was so limited because of abuses, or because of dysfunction, or because of, you know, addictions, alcoholism, or because the parents were just too busy working to try and make ends meet. It doesn't matter what it was that connection got lost. It doesn't matter what it was that connection got severed. We can call it an infinite number of things, because each and every one of us on this planet are healing an infinite number of those things. But at the core of it is our relationship with source, as spirit, as love. And how can we reconnect that to those experiences to heal those wounds and to say, okay, right now, what really matters to me and why I am rewriting what Christmas means to me and what these experiences mean to me, it's that connection with people. It's that connection with my planet. It's that connection with my next vocation or my next star mate. It's that connection that we all miss and that we all treasure, and why we co-created the experience at the collective level in the way that we did. How are our socioeconomic systems in the divine relationship of what's really going wrong and what those tower moments are showing us? In this crucible of that, where is that relationship and connection missing? Because in the center of it, that will be the gift that we now have created Christmas. There is a multidimensional layered story within this. So please see beyond the words that we're using and feel into the words that are being offered as vibrational stories. They're showing me there's many stories going into what we're saying, because many of you need to hear it and see it at a different level than what it is being experienced in your reality. because you will often find each and every one of you coming forward with your new tribes and your ancestors and all of the sacred traditions that you had in various timelines, other galaxies, other planets, other systems, that you will be bringing these into your now moment to begin to create these higher Christ consciousness templates and realities for you to experience. And they are allowing you to see the reconnection of who you are as spirit. Does that make sense, dear ones? What do we use as physical, tangible things as distractions? They're all very valid and it's very true. There's no judgment at all in what we're saying. But what we're wanting as spirit. So, okay, thank you, spirits. Thank you. This is very important from the councils of light and from the heavenly angels that are wanting this beautiful message of love and unconditionality to be offered as a beautiful song that is source, is that there is such grace and beauty and elegance in all moments of life. Life is a beautiful elegance and delicate dance that is grace. It's source. It's the elegant flow that is beauty and divine awe and miraculousness that is source. And how have we distracted ourselves and separated ourselves in such a way that we use the tangible material experience to take place of what we've always wanted in our hearts, was that connection with one another in the most loving and intimate way. In which we'll take it back to our video yesterday. So if you haven't watched that, watch the video that we offered yesterday, that sound activation. When Gaia, at the very end of our video, I had a vision of Gaia and the Holy Mother showing us the excitement of watching the children unpack. What's that anticipation that we all feel? What's coming next? What's in that package next, kind of thing. But it was a multi-layered story that I was seeing and sensing and feeling that is now in the consciousness. How have we allowed the physical reality to be so much of a distraction that we've forgotten who we are in the connection with spirit? And there's so much that is distracting our reality, and we had to have this collective shake-up, this collective tower moment to shake us at our very core and say, what is it really that we value, and where are morals and where are our values in our connection with one another, with Gaia, with our planet, with all that we know to be abundance and wellness and health, and how we feel connected with ourselves, with looking in the mirror. I'm connected with myself today. I'm building my new soul today. I'm building my new Christ consciousness life today. I'm excited for what I am in this moment, because I get to express myself anew. I get to show that I'm spirit. I get to show that I'm the abundance of spirit, and I get to create in this way. And reconnecting that connection with you that we've been so distracted and pulled from, especially in my personal experiences, where the many abuses and the many experiences that I've called in, because I felt that at that core level, my job was just to give and make it right for everybody. And meanwhile, there was great neglect in that, because there were those that were just completely taking advantage and, walking all over the kindness and the goodness that light workers and many come with. And that it's not the obligation for anyone to kind of keep putting themselves in harm's way of others that just simply don't care. And those experiences, upon reflection, go back to even the earliest childhood, and many of the timelines that I was here as an Akashic and a timeline healer for the collective of women and women's abuse, and how women have been disenfranchised, and how women have been, the many remembrances that I've had in other timelines, where those experiences were of great and dishonoring neglect, body, mental, and emotionally neglect. And those were what many of us are here to come and heal and clear. But in that reflection, you get to say, well, this is my Christ consciousness timeline that I get to choose now, because I want to create that greater connection of me with source. And I can see that all of those experiences that I get to thread back now, because remember, now heals the past, now heals the past. Now heals the future. Now heals all timelines that you, in this now moment of recognizing the divine relationship and where that connection was lost. It's all about connection. Divine relationship is connection. Unconditional love, that is the connection. And why, without that unconditional love, that separation, that is where we create those traumas and dramas. And those energies that our psyche and our soul and our spirit, through the encoding and the veils that we wear, call those experiences in until we go back and say, I'm always with source. There will never be a disconnection from source. I am always unconditionally loved. I will always belong. I am always special. I am always sacred. And this is my new connection with me. And therefore I heal my past. There was no abuse in the past. I'm healing it now because I have that connection of myself with self. I am one with the heavens. I am one with source, and my circumstances don't matter. And I can begin creating from this unconditional loving space. And that's why this now feels all. And so that's the analogy that was given yesterday, was that beautiful experience of like, wow, the reason why many of the frustrations and the dissension, if you will, that discordance, or that pulling apart of two worlds until they no longer fit together. Because as a spiritual person, many of us are finding that we're trying to find our place. You know, those that are just awakening feel just as out of place as those of us that have been on the path for 10 and 15 years. Because we're feeling as if we're in between both worlds all the time. You know, and my teams were showing me that share your love and share your work and share your honor and share your love and share your Christ consciousness with those that really want it and honor it and value it. So that's part of mastery, is learning when to share, who to share, and how much to share. And be okay walking in between those worlds, but not giving all to both worlds and all to all people and all beings, because all won't want it, don't need it, and all don't appreciate it. So that's a part of mastery that one has to learn and say, okay, well, my whole life I was just giving unconditionally, giving, and then you reach this point of sheer exhaustion and depletion in every way, mentally, physically, emotionally, and etherically, because you've called in so many people that just take so much advantage of you that your soul is being, your soul is being depleted. And you lose that sense of self, of that connection with source that you've always been. But those are the stories we're here to heal for all lineages, is that connection. And then in that connection, that A is first defined with you and source, you and your higher self, your highest counsel. That's all that is, that's all that matters. That's it. No outside party, no outside being, no outside person, no outside structure, no outside economic rating will ever give you that sense of self that is that connection with you as a soul, as source, as love, as Christ consciousness, first, above all, before all. And in that, you begin to say, well, this is what I want my 2021 reality to look like and feel like and experience like, expressed, to be the flowing aspect of me. In flow, not as if you're trying to press the energies into experiences and people and systems that don't want it, don't honor it, don't care for it, and don't need it. They'll awaken when they're ready to awaken. And it's not for any one person to feel as if they've got to change anything, bring anybody along for the ride, or make anyone understand. And many of us that are light workers are trying to find, well, where do we fit now? You know, I'm not needed here. I'm not wanted here. I'm not valued here. I'm not being nourished and appreciated here. So now what? You know, healing that space within you and that centering within you, that soul within you, that you've always belonged. You're here for a very special reason, that you always belong. But it's that connection with self that was always missing, because when you were a younger child and a baby, you look to your sense of belonging in what you see around you. And because we have been so disconnected and run by fear programs, our parents, grandparents, lineage have been seeking their belonging and their inclusivity and their sense of self through outside structures of work, of their political standing, of their financial standing, of their religious standing. And all of that mattered. That's what we saw as our sense of belonging. Our sense of self was in outside structures. We gave our power away to everybody. We gave our power away to the pastor. We gave our power away to, social and material experiences. That's not spirit. Spirit can be infused in it, and you can co-create it in a new vibrational way, which is what we're doing for 5D. But to know and reflect upon your year and say, well, where was the connection lost with me? You know, continuing to create traditions that don't connect with who you are at the soul. And why I'm choosing from this point forward to do everything that is of pure connection with who I am as spirit. Because I'm choosing that consciously. Is this in alignment with my Christ consciousness as a connection of me with me? Me and my higher self. Me and the essence of who I am with source. Me as this beautiful Christ consciousness visionary, as this teacher, as this leader, as this divine feminine, great vibrational tapestry weaver, and whatever words that can be defined with things that we don't have words for yet. and have it be undefinable. But that's the connection with me that in those analogies and in those visions allowed me to see, well, how can I offer this to a 5D template and a 5D, exciting to recreate this 2021 experience through those reflections, because it's always been about the connection that we've lost. So how can I bring connection and that divine relationship into everything now? How can I rewrite now? And in this rewriting now, you heal the past because you're reconnecting what was really important. It wasn't the gifts. It was that connection with the parents. It was that connection with your family. It was that connection with the traditions just to be together. And why so many go through those seasonal experiences of depression and sadness. Because that doesn't have anything to do with the gifts. And often than not, when you look back and you think about, everybody will give you an experience of their childhood seasonal gatherings, traditions, just to sit with one another. It doesn't matter how we define it in a tradition, if you will, like Christmas or Hanukkah. I'm getting to the connection of the vibration of connection. When often people bring up those memories and bring up those connections, it's about the experience of being together. It's about that connection of that sharing. It's about the connection of laughing. It's about the connection of giving and taking in the generosity that is spirit. And that's what our every moment, day for day for life is. It is the generosity of spirit. That should be all that it will be about. Should not. And that's what it really had me questioning about my own life. How did I give so much because I felt that the giving was my only way to receive? And how many of you can say that? And then when you really feel into it, that's where the sadness comes. Because that's warped. It's upside down. You should give because of the generosity of spirit. And it was always, always, always in my generosity of spirit to give. And why this year became a complete exhaustive year for me. Because it was like, I'm done, I can't give anymore. My spirit and my bodies, my mental, emotional, physical, everything was just so exhausted. I'm done. I'm tapped out. I tap out, I can't do it anymore. And spirit was showing, well, why do you feel you have to give so much? There's people around you that are absolutely taking advantage of you. Why do you feel you have to give until it's so blatantly obvious? Because that's what the soul thought it needed based on what it saw when it was a child. And what it sought to be, accepted. Well, if I do an extra chore, I might get attention. Or if I rub someone's feet, I might get an extra hug. And coming as light work is when you're such an empath and you have so much, your heart is so huge. It just makes you so happy just to give. But then you get to a point where I can't do this anymore. So where's that connection with me? Where's that connection with me? Because I matter. My bodies matter, my fields matter, my voice matters. And I want to share who I am with people that really care and cheer me on and value me and want to be there to encourage me and all of those things that give back to that nourishment. And I call judgment on all things that are neglectful. And that is my epiphany of reflection. One of my big, huge soul's lessons that I say enough is enough. No more neglect in any way. Not even a little. Not even a little. Because what I give out will be returned. And spirit is showing me the miracles that I have put out vibrationally since my birth, and the miracles will unfold. And I believe that, and I trust that of sorts. But what is 2021 going to be about for me? And that reconnection with me, that reconnection with who I am as the Christ, my reconnection with who I am as spirit with Gaia, that I've always known to be true, that I was conformed out of hindering and pulling myself back on because of the environment said it wasn't okay and wasn't normal. Which was all very fine and well, because most of the time your parents say that because they don't want you to feel the harm that goes into schools and other children when they don't understand what you're doing and who you are, if you're acting outside of conformity. So they do it for their highest and best reasons, but oftentimes squashing the inner spirit, the inner connection with source that we all are, that creates so much imbalance when it's not expressed. If we're not expressing who we are as spirit, that's when the imbalances occur, when your spirit is so warped because of the confines of the ego, then that becomes those, you know, toxic relationships and energies. Because spirit is not allowing itself to be expressed. When spirit is fully expressed in a reciprocal experience, then the bodies and the spirits and the multidimensional fields are continually being fed from itself, renewal of itself. But if that spirit is so suppressed and depressed, it's not being expressed, the emotions are not being expressed, the mental body is not being freely examined into higher states of consciousness and coming in and flowing into creation, then that entire multidimensional experience is being suppressed and depressed, and it becomes highly psychologically imbalanced, which then, and thus then it affects the physical body in every way. And I mean, they're all connected. It's an illness that creates dysfunction in every experience. And I've seen it firsthand. I've seen the cells and what happens in the brain and what, you know, I get visions of what's going on physically, because that's part of the medical intuitiveness that I will be a part of practicing. And so what they wanted to, what they wanted, that whole reflection about, you know, how can we reflect upon what has been? And if you do it just within your reflection of this past year, it will connect you and it will show you, okay, wow, like what, that brought me back to a childhood experience where I thought I always had to give until there was just nothing left. And then you end up attracting other people that just want to keep taking advantage of you. And then you say, okay, well, how does 2021 want to look? Well, I know that I'm a Christic healer. I know that I have all of these beautiful creative expressions. I know that my heart is so huge. I know that my connection with source is this now, because I've renewed my sense of self. I'm no longer going to, you know, create those experiences, because right now my vibration is here. It's of a pure connection with self, pure connection with source. My sense of self is loving and vibrant and beautiful and sacred and special and unique. And these are the experiences that I can absolutely feel as a vibration. And this is what I want to create for 2021. And this is how I want to feel. And this is how I want the miracles to come in this beautiful, exuberant way, because I know absolutely that the purity of my intention, the purity of my heart was to be and express and experience all that I am as source. And that's all that's required. That's how you reconnect with you. Am I reconnecting with my pure expression of me in every way? Am I expressing my voice with love? Am I expressing my oneness with love? Am I expressing all that I am with love and compassion? But then to hold true balance, meaning that, okay, well, there's those in my certain circles that I entangle with and I walk within that I don't necessarily have to give all of myself to. I can pull back and not give everything to certain circles, because A, they're not wanting it, B, they're not appreciating it, and C, they're not ready for it. And so just know that there's going to be those masterful moments where you're going to say, okay, well, here I can offer this, and there I can offer that. Here I can offer all this. So be okay with that, because this is the year of transition, and 2021 is that change. As we said in our other video, 2 is about the balance, and 0 is that God balance. So God is bringing the balance, the male, female. If we take this as an individual, the 2 means the male and the divine feminine coming into balance. The 0 is the God factor. The God factor is all that is God consciousness, the miraculous God consciousness that you can call upon, that is in every moment, that is what we've experienced this year. 2021 will be that God consciousness bringing the divine male and female into balance. So we have done a great job through all of our clearing, through all of our intentions, to understand what balance and harmony is so key and vital for that daily self-care. That is the balancing of the male and female frequencies, and why there are those that are experiencing their imbalances. Because there are divine feminine, divine male experiences in their Akash, in their soul, in their spiritual life, that they are rebalancing and sorting out the beliefs of each, so that they become balanced as a one being, male and female, the sacred child. So 2 is the balancing of male and female, because they're aware of it. I have male, I have female attributes that I'm balancing. That is an awareness. That is a part of awakening. 0 is the God consciousness. Are we expressing and experiencing and exploring yourself as the sacred child? That's a part of your rebalancing, right? Can I express myself fully and completely and authentically and without apology? That's a part of that divine sacred child. You're giving voice to the inner sacred child, the outer sacred child, the universal sacred child, all that you are with Gaia. That's the 0, God consciousness, sacred child, evolutionist. Two, again, rebalancing in higher consciousness states. What is my new divine feminine and divine masculine 2021 attributes feel like? Now I'm bringing my divine male and female up to a higher frequency. I'm going to level up. I want a new template. I want to express myself and explore myself, and I want to be received in return because I'm worthy. I'm stating that. I'm in connection with me now. So you're giving it that 5D. Okay, what is my divine male and female going to be like now? Because you will be giving you codes. You will be giving you access to abilities and skills and gifts to take on those new male, female expressions, explorations, and experiences. And then the one is the new beginning. The new beginning. How can we create in this new balance of divine relationship? That's what 2021 means for me. That's that reconnection of self with that higher self. I'm leveling up to a new higher level of me, which means that, yeah, I have greater awareness of who and what I'm going to give and to whom and to how. And I get to set guidelines and I get to set standards of who and how I entangle and who I get to give my energy with and who I get to entangle with and how I get to entangle, because I get to choose that. I'm no longer going to waste my energy in experiences that do not serve and do not appreciate and honor me, and, you know, have those experiences that are completely, you know, damaging to the heart and to the soul and the body in every way, you know. And there's only so much that occurs where you just say, okay, enough is enough. It's completely got to be rewritten. It's got to be rewritten, because that type of behavior and that type of experience cannot go into this experience of higher leveling up. And so allow yourself to be in both worlds. And that's where you'll get to figure out for yourself where your comfort level is in your connection and reconnection with your experience, your divine relationship within all moments, all people. You can still be unconditionally loving, but you just pull back on what you give. You know, like for me, maybe my children don't need an ongoing lesson of life in every experience, in every moment. You know, that was my passion. I'm just a born teacher. I want my children to have the most expansive experience of all creation, you know, and they're often telling me, Mom, you know, I don't have to know about quasars right now. You know, and but that, you know, as a mom, that's what I wanted when I was a kid. I want to know about where I come from. I want to know about my galactic and universal, you know, I want to know where I come from. I want to talk about light ships. But that was me projecting my wants and needs of connection with those that just didn't want it and don't care about it yet. Doesn't mean they won't ever, but at this point in their cycle of life, they don't want it. So pull back. You don't have to give it to them, you know, but that's, as a master, we walk with. And as we said the other day, you're going to be on two separate, where you're going to completely close yourself off because you're just so disheartened and, you know, you're giving yourself and nobody's appreciating and caring about it. Or you overgive and leave yourself completely depleted. Or you can come in the middle and say, okay, I'm a master. I can choose to create my Christ consciousness timeline, and I can choose to create beautiful, wonderful miracles for me because I'm ready for it. I know I'm ready for it. And allow all of the experiences to just be vibrationally where they're meant to be. You don't have to manage it. You don't have to control it. You don't have to force it or project it into anything that you think you want it in. And those are the beliefs that we carry from childhood. And that we're all here to heal. As the divine feminine, I don't have to fix it for everybody. I can be very selective about who I share myself with and how I share myself, how I share my beautiful sacred energy, how I share my beautiful sacred gifts. I am very selective about that. I get to be, because now I've learned, wow, I'm just not going to give it away. Absolutely not. No way, not anymore. I'm very selective about who will come into my space and how I will share that space. Because not everybody will have access to it, and not everybody gets to have that space with me. That's a standard that I am now setting through many disheartening experiences. And that's part of mastery. It's still unconditional, but now there's guidelines and I'm setting space because my gifts and my energy is very, very sacred. It's very sacred. The more I get to know me and connect with me, you know, my teams are just like, wow, you have such profound capacity. You've been limiting yourself because you've been valuing yourself based on what others are projecting to you, that your gifts aren't valued, or that you can't make money off what you do, or you're not that special. Whatever the projections were, you were taking on and absorbing those thought forms because they were not understanding and they were not interested. Whether it's a work circle, whether it's an education circle, it doesn't matter, because those thought projections are everywhere. And when others are in lack and when others are in not in connection of who they are, they just project what they feel have been projected on them. You see, it's just a big circle of imbalanced projections that are of lack and limitation and separation. So you have to stand strong enough within your sense of self to say, I'm not taking on those projections. I love you unconditionally, but now I get to choose how and when I get to use my energy and how I get to share myself and where I get to share myself and how I get to explore and experience and express who I am with those that truly honor and love me and value me and want to cheer me on in every way. And I get to be selective now because that's my standard. That's how I want to connect in a higher vibrational, male, female, higher leveling up. I get to create my Christ consciousness experience. But that's why we go through those soulful lessons. And it's, you know, they're just reminding me right now that that's a part of the divine feminine healing that I've come to be a part of. That's part of one of my soul's greatest plans, is to bring that divine feminine up to a higher standard. No more neglect, no more being taken advantage of, no more being talked over, no more being chump changed, no more bringing, you know, being paid less, you know, than our other counterparts. No, we will speak our truth. We will be respected. We will be refined in who we are in our Christ consciousness experience, because we deserve to be. We deserve every opportunity that every other person gets offered, and so do every other person that has been disenfranchised. It's about fairness and equality. And are you connecting with the fairness and equality of who you are with Source? Again, it's that divine relationship. And those were just a few of my beautiful personal experiences that brought me to that, wow, it's that connection of oneness that I've always wanted and sought. And we tend to look for it in the outside world because that's what we're shown as children. But it's always been about that connection with those that we call and we hold dear to our family. That is family. And so they were saying, like, how can you move about in grace, gratitude, and appreciation for your connection with you as Source? Are you happy that you're connected as Source? So when you're doing your 2020 reflection and what it's taught you and what it's brought about for you as the renewal of all that you are, can you do it in a way that is in gratitude for who you are? Even if you've experienced the most challenging experience that's totally battered your ego, because the ego you cannot ascend without the ego going through the many deaths that it needs to go through, because the ego thinks it's running the show and it's just not. And that's why we have ego deaths. That's why we have those tower moments, to shake it up inside and say, okay, ego, what did you think you were connected with? Because it's not ego at all. It's not about what you lose. It's not about any of that stuff. It's about, are you connected with spirit? It's always about that divine relationship that we're shown in every moment. And we just had it knocked and shaken out of us at a global experience because we needed it. We've been so disconnected from spirit in all things, in all ways. And why the Divine Mother and Gaia came through to me in that vision to remind us. It's about the connection, the joy that we have in connecting, the joy that we have in sharing the grace and the generosity of spirit. And yes, sometimes spirit is giving that gift of a crystal or a beautiful handwritten poem or a beautiful expression of who I am in this moment right now, to be so excited to express my Christ consciousness and my reconnection with me as Source. And it's there is no judgment or what's that word? It's no judgment or disregard to anyone that has been with me in any of my soul's experiences. They've come to play the part that that we've contracted to play for one another, so that we could all learn from both ends. So there's no disregard and judgment in any of it. It's all required, and in the higher realms of our frequencies, we're all one. We're all brotherhoods. We're all sisterhoods. We're all one. We're brothers and sisters at the soul level. So there's no judgment in any way. It's what we needed. It's what we needed to shake one another and say, hey, are you going to reconnect back with you? And I'm showing you that, are you going to reconnect back with you? You know, that's what we get to show each other. You know, but I'm standing my honor now, and I'm going to reconnect with me as spirit, and don't talk to me that way. Because I'm pretty sacred, and you can't use those words, because those are not sacred words. Not with me. This is my space, my field. But you get to reconnect with you and say, wow, that felt good. I stood up for myself. I said, this is my sacred space. This is my sacred body. And it feels good to now be me again. I get to reconnect with my soul and my spirit. My spirit wants to be held sacred. My soul wants to know that I've got my back. My spirit wants to know that, yes, I'm listening to my intuitions. I'm not going to go that way again. I'm going to go this way now. Or, oh, I'm going to eat that food now because my intuition is telling me this. I've got my spirit's back. Thought, word, deed, and action and behavior. I've got my spirit's back. I'm connected as Christ consciousness. That's what it's aching for you to do. That's why spirit will show you in an infinite number of ways. Are you awake? And if you keep saying no, and if you keep ignoring and suppressing and depressing all of these cues and symbols we're getting, that's when those egoic tower moments happen. Because ego will think it's controlling the show. It's controlling outcome. It's controlling those tower moments not to happen. Because you cannot go back in and see your spirit. Well, no, everything on the outside world is distracting me. I need to go here for this. I need to go here for that immediate gratification. I need to go there for that immediate approval. I need to go there for that immediate connection to who I think I am. No, it's about spirit. And there's no judgment or demeaning experience in any of it. It's not. It's what every soul needs to go back into self and say, how can I connect as spirit? How can we connect with one another as spirit? Each and every person on this planet is a master of spirit. They wouldn't be here if they weren't. Every person needs their own unique lessons, their own unique reflections. We're not meant to have the same reflection. We are not meant to be at the same path, in the same way, in the same speed at all. We're just not. That's why there's those transitions of being in both worlds at once. Well, how much do I give? Who do I give? That's mastery. Everyone will take their own path of mastery. And it will take their own time and their own pacing. And that's okay. It's meant to be that way. But it all comes to this. 2021 is about that reconnection at that higher level of that rebalance. And every year we're going to have that duality of male, female. How can I bring this into higher spiritual experience? And so can you have appreciation and gratitude for all that you are, spirit, reconnecting with spirit? This is me today. I honor everybody that's been in my life. It's been such an incredible journey for showing me who I'm meant to be, who I am meant to reconnect with. And I love every single person unconditionally within my story from birth till now. It's a gratitude and an attitude of gratitude journey and song, and unconditional loving and unconditional oneness. And I give gratitude to every single person that's experienced this with me. Hasn't been easy, hasn't been fun. But I absolutely am so grateful for it, because I'm in this place now where I'm saying, holy crap, wow. It's far grander. I'm in awe. I'm in awe. Like, holy cow. What have I learned about myself? I mean, it's just this eternal book with source that just doesn't end. That's awe, you know? Like, I know that when I'm, whenever that moment comes where I'm on that, my daughter said to me the other day, because I've often said to her about, the appreciation of life and, try everything, experience yourself as source in every way that you can. And, I've often said, if you're on that last moment and you can say, did I try something? Because her and I have very similar traits about putting ourselves out there and trying things, that little insecurity. And she's there to teach me and show me and reflect me these beautiful experiences, and just try, explore, get out there. You're safe. You got this. You got this. And why we contract with each other to show ourselves our traits within one another that we're here to express and explore within and really press out, and why we need one another in that way, that connection. We need that connection. I'll know that at that last moment and that last breath, I reconnected with myself in the most profound way that I never thought I could. You cannot get that connection of you through any outside experience. That alchemic moment where it just clicks and you feel yourself as Christ consciousness. You feel yourself as spirit. You feel yourself as the creator of your reality. You feel yourself in oneness with source. You feel yourself as this vast infinite being that is source, love, light, and compassion of oneness. In all moments, you're one. You feel yourself within the threads of the all. You can feel yourself moving within the threads of the all. You can feel your teams connecting with you like a big, huge mansion that you can hear people talking in other rooms of your mansion. That is your allness. That is your soul's experience of you with you. And nothing outside of you can get it. Gaia will be your inspiration. They will be synchronicities and symbols in this. But you connecting with you. And have I taken enough advantage of this life experience, of this earthly, profound, human, crystalline, divine, heavenly, spiritual, human matter creating moment to connect fully with me as love? Because it's all you. No matter who's standing in front of you, it is saying, this is you. What do you need to see? What do you need to hear? What lessons do you need to learn? Can you stand up? Can you create your power? Can you learn from your power? Can you learn from your love? Can you learn through forgiveness? And then say, wow, that was me. Thank you. I learned my lesson in that. Yeah, that was awesome. I get to reconnect with me as spirit, showing me that yes, you're unconditionally loved. Yes, you are eternal. Yes, you are infinite. Yes, you have infinite wisdoms and intelligence within you to solve this problem. Yes, you have infinite wisdoms to step aside from this and move on. Yes, you have infinite wisdoms to start again. Yes, you have infinite wisdoms to create. Yes, you have infinite wisdoms to receive. You have everything within you. You're worthy of receiving. You're worthy of receiving the miracle that is God. You're worthy of being the abundance that is God. You're worthy of receiving the abundance that is all that is in your connection with it. See, it's that divine relationship. And in the very center, it all is. That's that micro, macro, holographic. Am I the receivership of abundance that is God? Am I the receivership of all that is source? Am I the receivership of Christ consciousness? Yes, there's nothing held outside of me. I am lacking for nothing. I am Christ consciousness. My love and my energy will always be renewed, for I am that I am. My name is. And so they said to me, and so as we're creating 2021, how do you want it to feel? How do you want it to look like? How do you want to experience it in every vibrational way? Really feel into the gossamer threads that can take you in an infinite number of ways into 2021, that vibration. We're not saying project an expected outcome. We're saying vibrationally feel into what it will be like to find that star mate, that beautiful lover, if you will. And how will that feel like? For the emotional connection of it, for the vibrational connection of it, for the vibrational walk in the park, for the vibrational experience of, you know, handing one another a flower, for that vibrational connection of singing one another a song or writing poetry. That's what we're asking. Those gossamer threads help you create that new 2021 template, that leveling up of you and your balanced male and female expression, exploration, experience of who you are as a male and a female coming together and exploring, curiosity, creating, excitement, pressing out as that sacred child. It's a leveling up because you brought everything back in and say, it's all me. I'm connecting with me again. That's what matters most, does it not? In everything that this global experience has allowed us to catch up within. And we're catching up with all the disconnection that we've had from birth. For each and every one of us are at different ages. How can we reconnect those threads and bring them back into a Christ consciousness experience? Unconditionally loving and honor everybody within your path, honor everybody for the appreciation and the journey that they have brought with them for you. One another, you are threading unconditional love, because in the higher realms, you are all unconditionally loving one another and saying, I offered you unconditional love in our experience, because that's what I said I would do. I want to offer you light and unconditional love to know that you have this within you. You don't have to behave in certain ways, that you don't have to do that in certain ways, because there's unconditional love within you, and I will be that reflection for you. I will show that for you. It's such an unconditional loving journey. At the higher perspectives, we all know that. But when we come into our body, ego, personalities, the ego is saying, well, no, I want to win. No, I want to win. No, I want to be right. But when you're in that higher self perspective, the higher self just says, I love you unconditionally. And in that unconditional love, I get to also love me and be connected fully with my sense of self. And this is what I get to do now. You know, I've taught you what you needed to learn, and I've taught myself what I needed to learn. And now it's time for those experiences to now move off into their new co-creative experiences, when you're always living in between two worlds. And you're bringing every experience up to its highest Christ consciousness, unconditional love, unconditional oneness, unconditional love, unconditional oneness. And that's what my teams showed me today in the Councils of Light. In every moment, can you call in and reach up for that Christ consciousness that is always expansive and expressive, and bring it to now? No matter what is happening in your experience, your circumstances, because your circumstances don't matter. You are here to call in the heavens and bring it to earth. We can only do it if we're connected fully with who we are as Christ consciousness. Am I being safe, unconditionally safe in who I am? I'm expressing all that I am because I'm expressing my unconditional love. It's unconditional. It's unconditional. Doesn't mean I have to give everything to everyone in all moments. But I can absolutely see it as an unconditionally loving moment, and that's the Christ consciousness. It's unconditional. We're all one. Unconditional, loving, oneness. We're all safe. We're all safe. We're all safe. There's no need for the ego to play games. There's no need for the ego to self-sacrifice. There's no need for the ego to, the ego loves to what's that word, spirit? Self-preserve. Self-preserve, you know, where you just clench up and you go within and you just block everything out. because it doesn't want to face those, you know, those ego deaths, or those, those moments where, the only other alternative is your connection with spirit. Yes, I must share my emotions, regardless of what other people around me think. I must share those. That's my connection with me. I honor me. That brings my body health, is when I'm expressing who I am as spirit. If I'm not expressing myself as spirit, all that I am as a multidimensional being becomes dysfunctional. It just does. Spirit must flow. Spirit must change. It's one of our universal laws. Everything must change. If you're not allowing it to change because of old cycles, because of old routines that don't serve anymore in this higher frequency, everyone will be asked to level up. Everything must change, everything. So how can we reflect upon where the disconnect went? The disconnect between the importance and the value of your emotions, and sharing them, expressing them, and exploring all that you are as a sacred being, and having others explore you as a sacred being and share that expression of appreciation. Are you honoring and allowing yourself to be appreciated? Are you allowing and honoring yourself to receive? Are you allowing yourself the unconditional trust that the universe will bring you all that you are as you can create in connection with you as you? That's a huge one. Ponder on that one sentence, and we'll say it again. Are you allowing yourself unconditional trust in everything that unfolds before you? Trusting unconditionally, surrendering unconditionally. This is where ego sits back, surrenders. Spirit, show me unconditionally, for I trust you. I surrender all that I am to you. I surrender all that I am to you, Source God. You are the creator of all things. I surrender all that I am to you to help heal all that needs to be healed, to set me on a path through which I am fully appreciated, and I am able to receive all that I am in the connection of who I am with you. That's a profound statement. Ponder on that one statement and see how you can feel into what that will look like for 2021. I surrender fully. I want to be in absolute Christ consciousness flow for 2021. That I will be where I need to be, with whom I need to be, and I will be creating what I need to be for the greater good of all, because Source knows. My ego doesn't know. My ego don't know. My ego don't know what Source got. Source got great plans for me. Got great plans for you. The ego don't know that. The ego don't know what it's doing. The ego is the entrainment of psyche wounds and its reality to keep you safe. How does it know the grandiose plan that Source has, that all you're connected with in all realms, all bodies, all planets, all forms? You gotta surrender. Are you allowing yourself to be that connection of the infinite you of you with Christ consciousness? For 2021, I can get excited. I can do anything. I'm connected with me as a soul. I'm connected with me as a soul. I'm connected with me as a soul. I am a beautiful soul. I am Christ consciousness. I affirm to myself throughout my day that I absolutely know, I absolutely feel, I absolutely express and experience myself as Source. I am a soul of Source. I am the abundance of Source. My reality in 2021, I want to explore all that I am as Source. I want to explore greater connections of who I am with Source. I want to explore what it feels like to truly receive gracefully the love and the energy and the light that I have placed out for 51 years. I want to know what that feels like to receive. I'm worthy. And so how does your 2021 soul growth look like? Does it have some form of receiving? And we offer this in our classes. When you're going through, what does my new 2021 soul plan look like? Am I going to express myself and explore myself? Am I going to get to experience myself in both the giving and receiving, the Source, the graciousness of Spirit? Do I get to create in every moment knowing that I am the sacred child, that right in the crucible between the mother and the father, the rebalancing of 2021? I'm the leveling up. I'm a rebalanced aspect and a beautiful soul connection that is both male and female. And I get to say, within this soul circle, this is the renewal of the soul self. This is a soul-infused, heart-centered being, heart-centered, divine sacred heart, where I'm releasing and I'm learning, I'm taking all of my wisdoms from what was, and I get to choose now. Now I get to choose, I renew myself. Now I get to choose from my epicenter of light. Now I get to choose my oneness with the creation, my oneness with Source, because this is me. All that matters in my highest counsel. This is my new 2021 soul growth. And it will include aspects where I'm feeding and I'm allowing the nourishment of all of my bodies, physical, mental, emotional, spiritual. I want to press out. I want to experience God in all things, in all moments, with all people. But I also get to have my mastery, and I also get to discern how much I give, what I give, so that I can also be in receipt and receivership, to know that I am a divine being and I have that worthiness to receive the grace that I've put out and I've placed out with pure intention. Because my heart is pure. If I give out, it's pure. There's no motives or manipulation behind it. It's always pure. I know that. I know what I give out. I've been doing this long enough to know the vibration of what is in pure intention and what isn't. And anyone that is awake and vibrationally attuned with their bodies and their systems, you get to feel and discern what is worthy of your energies and your time and your worthiness to be placing within it, when others are not really wanting it and there's not that same integrity level. As a leader and as a master, you get to discern that. And then you get to discern and infuse how much of your light you want to infuse in it, or how much time you want to spend. That's mastery, because not everybody is ready for it. Not everybody wants it. And that's okay. There's no judgment either way. But this is where you get to plan out. Where am I going to pull back all of the energy I've been expending in places that aren't necessarily, valuing it? So I got to regroup. I got to make a new plan, because 2021 is going to look different. It's going to be 5D, and I want to level up, because I want to feel my full Christihood. I want to activate my new gifts. I want to activate those greater wisdoms, because you know what? I've made space for it. I've got the energy now, because I'm going to be renewed within myself, my connection with self that is always renewing the love, which is always renewing the cellular growth and health and benefits for me, so that I can continue doing my work as a Christic healer and a leader. And it's always that divine relationship. Where did I hold myself separate? Where was that disconnect? That disconnect, well, because I was told that my emotions didn't matter, I wasn't able to express it. Okay, well, that's where that disconnection is, so now you get to repair it. Now you get to express fully your emotions. Now you get to express fully, this is how I feel, this is how it's been affecting me, and this is the new change. How about you? You get to make it right. You get to make it right. This is the making it right. Divine sacred heart, your connection with source, your connection with all that it is, creation will support you. It's always been the portal of your heart. That 2021 is the portal of your heart, how you level up. How can I be a soul-infused, heart-centered person so that my health, my wellness, my abundance, everything is coming from your heart, infinite. All the exchange and the reciprocity of your energy. You are abundant. You're infinitely abundant as source. It will always be renewed. Your reconnection with you as well. That's Christ consciousness. And how can that Christ consciousness create that new life, that new tribe, that new starmate, that new soulmate, that new sacred love of your reconnection with you and your gifts, you and your soul with Gaia? And that's what Gaia was saying. She's excited for us. 2021, are you going to have that excitement for that connection with her? That gift that you unwrap with her, that gift that you unwrap with the Divine Mother, say, wow, I just birthed this brand new experience and this brand new fertile idea. I'm going to sow seeds of light, because this is what the Divine Mother does. The Divine Mother brings balance and stability into that experience, because the Divine Mother knows if there's anything out of balance, she'll feel it, and she'll say, okay, intuitively, what's going on here? Got to be rewritten. Who's up for it? And allow. The allowance factor and the surrender factor is so huge, because then you're allowing source to be co-creator with you. And the ego can't do that. The ego is not source on any way. Sorry to tell you that bit of news. News at 9, not at all. Right? And how much of the day are we disconnected from spirit, because that's just the routine of what we've been taught and shown. And that's the earthly experience. You give the ego a break. It's exhausted. It can't do what spirit does. It doesn't. It won't. It doesn't want to. It doesn't. And that's when those great imbalances occur. So give yourself a break. Reconnect with spirit as often as you can throughout the holidays, and know that when I go in with pure intent, when you go in with pure intent, to reconnect. Because that's all we've ever asked for. That's all we've ever wanted, to belong. It's that belonging. I want to feel like I belong. And it comes with you. And that was a beautiful part of my story. And I'll end on it, because we've had that full discussion about that reconnection. Part of one of my soul's greatest experiences was through all of those overgiving and those experiences that many light children, rainbow children, and empaths come with. as a crystal child from the Pleiades, is that that misunderstanding, that warped version of overgiving because you thought that that's what you had to do to belong. You know, it got you that little extra hug at night, or it got you that little extra, oh, good girl kind of thing. And it made you feel as if you were important and as if you were valued and if you belonged, because it was always those outside egocentric behaviors and having to get due and you know, call in as physical disconnection, right? But that's the warped sense of the old realities that we're all healing, because that little bit of you know, connection of way to go, that little bit of connection of emotional importance and emotional value is what we all seek to just truly belong. I don't have to give anything. I'm perfect. I'm enough. And in knowing that and in being that for myself, that renewal of sense of self, and continuing to affirm and continuing to behave, continuing to have my own back, vibrationally, mentally, emotionally, etherically, in every way, without a second of knowing that I am a full connection with source as love. I am enough. There's nothing that I have to do. I don't have to do or behave in any certain way for appreciation or for acceptance, because it's me accepting me. I belong. And when I belong with me, that's all that matters. And then you start attracting those leveling up experiences, because it's no longer driven by egocentric, outdated formulas of disconnection, because it was all dysfunctional. Eons of dysfunction, showing children being born, eons of dysfunction that have to be healed through our reconnection of who we are, spirit, in every moment, in every person before us, in every breath. Our connection with spirit and breath. We are the sacred song. Our connection with all those experiences we want to experience. Every breath in that experience is source. I am connected fully with source. I'm one as a Christ consciousness. It's oneness. It's oneness. It's oneness in here. It's oneness here. It's oneness here. I'm unconditionally loving. I'm unconditionally giving and receiving. I am love. I am safe. I am love. I belong. I belong. I'm perfect. I'm enough. I'm sacred. I'm enough. Hey, thank you, Holy Goddesses. Thank you. But thank you. And they were saying, doesn't it finally feel okay just to fully feel in connection with you? That's all that matters. When you're fully in connection with you, loving that connection with you, embracing that connection with you, honoring that connection with you, the outside circumstances just kind of fall away and they'll fix themselves. And that was a huge lesson for me. I'm not here to fix anything for anybody. And what a huge relief. All burdens are released. It's not my circus. You know, it's up to everyone to have their unique experience. I cannot control outcomes. I don't want to control outcomes. I'm tired and exhausted of controlling outcomes and fixing it for everybody and being it for everybody. Right now, it's about me connecting with me as a soul and being the highest version of me that I can for all others. And in that, everyone will be served. It's a perfect design. It's an orchestration of the divine elegance that nobody has words for. The ego cannot say, well, that's not the role and definition we've had for eons, and that's not how it's supposed to look. Well, that's because it's being perceived from a 3D perspective, and one that's been there for eons that needs to be rewritten. And it's okay that there's a disagreement. It's okay that you can agree to disagree, because there'll be many people, again, you don't have to share your gifts with those that aren't ready for it, that don't want it, and don't nourish it, and don't appreciate it. So again, choose to just, choose the conversations and how you expend your energy. You know, be between two worlds. You honor and express and explore your energies in those experiences that call for it, that want it, that will pay you well for it, that will appreciate and cheer you on for it, and allow all other experiences to be vibrationally matched in however you choose to entangle with it. You get that choice. so that you're not being all things to all people and having nothing left for you. That's not your connection with your soul. That's trying to be the light giver to all those that, you know, don't know how to do it for themselves. And that's not being the fisher. You know, that's being the gas giver. And it's exhausting. It's not why we're here. We're not here to be the gas givers of others. We're just not. It's not supposed to be that way. That's never been the idea of ascension, awakening, evolution. Evolution is you seeking it for you. Is you reconnecting with you. You reconnecting as Christ consciousness for you. You reconnecting with Gaia as Christ consciousness for you. Her infinite expansive oneness with you, her gifts with you, her song with you, her motivations with you, and play and sacred oneness with the galactic federations, the councils of light, the heavenly angels, all that is source creator, that is an ever ongoing song that is infinite. That is how each person will move through their exploration of their infinite joy. That's the connection we all belong with. We all seek, we ache for it. I ache for that loving connection, that loving belonging. Oh yeah, it's me. Wow, what a concept. So go with great gratitude, go with great honor in who you are as spirit. You know, explore yourself as spirit. Explore yourself. Be that keeper of light for you. Connect that light with you. Renew that light with you. How does your 2021 want to feel like? What do those vibrations feel like for you? Feel into that, feel into the number of vibrations and what are they offering you in those symbolic energies. Honor everyone in your path. It's a story, it's a song. You are all angels working with one another to show each other what you need to see and how you need to see it. Whether it's unconditional love and acceptance, whether it's excitement and joy like the children show us in every day. And how have we taken that from them because we've stuck them into systems that are judgmental and not allowing them to express their true creativity and their uniqueness and their expressiveness. Again, I will never stop talking about this. Our systems of education need to be completely rewritten. They just do. And I will play a part in that in whatever way I can. It's not serving the children in any way. It's not. It's just not. The children will tap into their innate wisdom. Each and every one of us come with a storehouse of wisdom and intelligence within us that we tap into Akashas, Akash timelines that we've never been trained in. I've never been trained in genetics on this planet, and yet I have wisdoms within me that will tap into when I need them and how I need them. Why do I need a school to tell me what's already within my DNA? We can use it as tools to activate us, yes, but they don't teach us absolutely who we are within. That part of the DNA that's been called junk is absolutely not junk. It's divine and it's sacred, it's source. There's nothing about us that is junk. You know, how have we valued who we are to say that and determine that? You know, there's not any cell. There's nothing within us that is junk. And I choose to rewrite it. 2021. There is nothing about us that is in any way junk. Never will be. Never have been. Never have it, as Sheldon would say from Big Bang Theory. I love that episode. Was it had it? If everybody knows that episode, put it down in the comments. I love it. I think they were talking about that. What is that called? That time that when they were going back and forth the timelines. That movie. What was that movie called? Oh my gosh. Anyways, put it down in the comments. That Sheldon, when Sheldon, they were writing on the blackboard and they were doing that timeline for, oh yeah, Back to the Future, when they have not. Oh, anyways, it was such a hilarious episode. I love that episode. They were just like perfect. And so, we're divine. We're Christ consciousness. We're Christ consciousness, everyone. Like, that's what we got to get excited about. We are infinite. This is what's so exciting. So look at your reflection of your year, of your time of birth. Every person in your life is your Christ consciousness, mirror of reflection to allow you that reconnection of love of who you are. So in all of this video, it could have been summed up with that one sentence. Everything, appreciate it, love it, honor it. It is love. It is love. We are one. 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 That was a soul contract to teach you and gift you at the heart level. Who are you as spirit? I'm here to remind you, who are you as spirit? I have a soul contract with you to offer all that I am as the Holy Christ, to say you are a part of the Holy Christ. You are infinite. There's nothing that you cannot do, be, or have, or experience. You are infinite. You are from the stars. You are from the heavens. You are special. You are sacred. There's nothing that you are not. You are within all things. You are the heavens. You are a part of this beautiful earth that's wanting to play with you and sing and dance with you. There is spirit. There is joy. There are the heavens. There are everything that is waiting to unfold within you in your reconnection of who you are, a spirit of source, as unconditional love and oneness. Make no mistake about it. And we love you so much. So what does 2021 want to look like for you and feel like? What are those vibrations of excitement? How can you feel into that reconnection with you as your emotional, your infinite emotional master, your infinite creative master, your infinite health and wellness master of your body? How do you want to redirect your cells to awaken every morning, to enliven to your highest light, to know that you can recreate health and you can heal anything that's going on? How can you look into the different modalities to help assist you in your healing and really stretch out and press out and be okay and claim it and say, you know what, I've had these imbalances. It's a part of my life story. And I know in me speaking it and me being it and me acknowledging it in whatever way I'm comfortable will help others, because I'm a mirror for someone else and I'm a master for someone else. And that's when I get to step into owning and reconnecting and re-loving who I am and reconnecting in that belonging. That's our story. That's why we're here. There's 7.5 billion people on this planet, and each and every one of us are the masters to one another. Make no mistake about it. You're not lacking in nothing. You are a master to everyone that you belong to. You're a master to everyone that looks at you in the eye and says, I'm your brother, I'm your sister. How may we co-create? You are sacred to me. I love you. You are sacred. You are a child of God. I'm here to remind you. Spirit, the creators, whatever is all that is to you. The creators to make sure that no planets whap into each other. There is magnificent creation in this elegance, and there is a plan that is beyond defining and should not be. For that is source. There is an elegant design, and what is your design within it? Source, I'm reconnecting with you. I'm connecting and I'm belonging with me, that greater aspect of me that is my eternal soul, that is connected with the highest wisdoms of all that is. I am in connection fully, completely right now. I am safe. I am one. I recreate in Christ consciousness. I love everyone. It's all a beautiful dance. It's all purposeful. It's all great. It's all beautiful. I get to learn about who I am. I get to explore who I am. I get to belong to who I am. What a gift. And in that, happy holidays. Be your sacred belonging. Know that your life review, your life story is beautiful and perfect. Everyone that's been in your path, even the ones that you meet at the grocery store that you just passed, it's an orchestration, dear lighted ones. Make no mistake about it. Beyond what you can imagine for your connection of who you are within the all and these crisscrossing moments of vibration to create a beautiful story of your acceptance to say, I am the sacred song of source. I am the sacred song, and I bring love. I bring acceptance. I bring oneness in my unique expression of who I am. And I get to reconnect with me as a goddess of love. So beautiful. Thank you, divine and holy creators of this beautiful dance. We are sacred love and light. Thank you. Namaste. The God in me sees the God in you and your perfection of all things, because you are love and the Christ consciousness, the eternal and infinite spirit that is love. Oneness. Namaste, everybody. Bye. Happy 2021.